Hello, and welcome to the Project Safe Neighborhoods Performance Reporting Training, Part 2 of 2, How and When to Complete Subrecipient Reporting. My name is Angie Belshi, and I'm an analyst on BJA's Planning, Performance, and Impact team. I would like to introduce Lauren Troy, Grant Manager for the PSN program, to provide opening remarks.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for attending our training today on the Project Safe Neighborhoods, or PSN, performance measures. Our goal today is to provide you with some tips on how to report in the performance measurement tool for the PSN program. I want to make sure to stress that we place great value on the information you report in the PMT. The better information we receive, the better we can tell the story of the important work that takes place in the PSN program, which helps ensure future funding and informs program oversight, which is crucial to continued success. I'm now going to turn it back over to the team who will begin the presentation. And thank you again for joining us today.
Today's training is specifically designed, again, for BJA Project Safe Neighborhood grantees, and we will cover various topics related to PSN reporting in the Performance Measurement Tool, or PMT, including subrecipient reporting and PMT report submission in the Just Grant system. We will also share resources and contact information to assist you as you are reporting or preparing to report. The Performance Measurement Tool is the online legacy reporting system for BJA and other OJP components. All performance reporting will eventually move to the Justice Grants or Just Grant system. However, PSN grantees still report in the PMT until further notice. PSN grantees are responsible for reporting grant activity into the PMT quarterly in January, April, July, and October. To access the PMT, please follow the link on the screen. If you are a first-time user or your account is inactive, please contact the PMT Help Desk for assistance. Additional reporting resources can be found on BJA's Performance Management website. The link is also provided on this slide. Once a report is generated in the PMT, PSN grantees are responsible for uploading the report into Just Grants twice each year, in January and July. The Just Grants team has developed a training that provides a step-by-step overview of the process. The link can be found on the screen. Since Just Grants is a completely separate system managed by a different team, we encourage you to reach out to the Just Grants support team for any issues or questions related to the Just Grants system. A phone number and email are provided on the screen. When do I report? This table outlines the type of data you'll be required to report each reporting period, when your reports are due in the PMT, and when you need to upload your reports to Just Grants. As you can see from the alternating values under the second column, you'll only report on the narrative questions in January, July, and during your last reporting period of grant activity, regardless of where that falls on the schedule. The PMT is only open for data during the month after the reporting period closes. The PMT is accessible year-round for you to review, edit your data, generate reports, and others, but you will need to contact the PMT Help Desk to unlock previously submitted reports. As a reminder, data entry is only available for the month following the close of a reporting period. Reporting opens the first business day in a reporting month. If you need to edit data outside of the scheduled due dates, again, please contact the PMT Help Desk. Please note reports are due 30 days after the end of a reporting period. Prime grantees and subrecipient roles and responsibilities. Prime grantees are responsible for managing their subrecipients, communicating with their subrecipients about reporting requirements, and ensuring the quality of subrecipient data. Grantees are also responsible for setting up and managing subrecipient accounts and data reports. For more information on roles and responsibilities, please follow the link on the screen. Next, I will walk you through how to add a subrecipient once you have logged into the PMT. First, locate the Federal Awards tab at the top of the page. The Federal Awards page provides a list of all grantee awards for multiple programs, if applicable. Do not select the Manage Subrecipients tab. Find the grant award you want to add subrecipients under and select Begin Reporting Process. Once you select Begin Reporting Process on the Federal Awards page, you will be brought to the Award Administration page. Depending on whether this is your first time reporting and your award has subrecipients, you will see this page. You will only answer this question the first time reporting. Since reporting is tied to funding, the purpose of this page is to tell the system how funds are administered. You can see there are 3 options. In the first option, if only the subrecipient uses the grant dollars, then they will be the only ones reporting in the PMT for this award. Note that even if the prime grantee selects this option, all grantee funds are sub-awarded to subrecipients, the prime recipient is still responsible for reporting semi-annual narrative questions. Please see Part 1 of 2 of this training for more information on best practices for semi-annual narrative reporting as a prime grantee. When reporting prime grantee narrative goals and objectives, you should be reviewing and summarizing subrecipient narrative responses to provide a holistic narrative for the grant award. In the third option, if both the prime grantee and the subrecipient receive and use funds to provide services or programs, then both will be required to report in the PMT. Please note that all 3 options do not include the allowable 10% administrative costs that can be used by the prime recipient. Prime grantees with subrecipients will either select option 1 or option 3, then select Continue. The first question of the PSN report is the Award Administration tab. The PMT will ask whether this is the last time reporting for the award. Only select Yes if all of your grant funds have been expended and your project activities are complete. This will generate a final report for your award. The next tab of the PMT report asks whether you had grant activity during the reporting period. If there was no grant activity, select No and select from the following reasons for no grant activity. Note that once you select Yes for was there grant activity during the reporting period, the program becomes operational and should remain so until the grant closes out. This is true even if the prime recipient's fiscal agents did not conduct activity during the reporting period, but your subrecipients did, as the award is still active. I will now hand it over to Liz Wayne to continue discussing PMT subrecipient reporting and account creation.
Now that the system knows there are subawards under the primary federal BJA award, this new homepage will appear. Make sure that you have selected the correct award. Select Add a Subrecipient to add subrecipients individually, or you have the option to add multiple subrecipients at the same time by using a bulk upload Excel template. Before adding a new subrecipient, make sure the subrecipient doesn't already exist. Do not create multiple profiles for the same subrecipient. If the subrecipient already exists, select Add a Subaward to update the subrecipient's profile with additional subawards. If the subrecipient doesn't already exist, add them by entering the new subrecipient's organization name, primary contact name, email, and phone number, and then click Create New Subrecipient. After creating a new subrecipient, enter the subrecipient's subaward number. This will help you identify the subaward. For example, this could be a unique ID that you use in your own financial reporting system for tracking and accounting purposes. The project period, or the subaward start and end date, based on when the subaward will be active and will have data to report, and the subaward amount, which must be less than or equal to the federal award amount. Please pay close attention to the project period date. The system defaults to the period of the federal award, but often the subaward may not be active during the entire life of the federal award. You as the prime grantee can set these dates to let the system know when the subaward will be active and required to submit a quarterly report. Back on the home page, if you see a message that says, data must be entered by subrecipient, the subrecipient has access the system, started to enter data, and they must continue to complete data entry. If you want to view and edit the data for this record, you can add yourself as a user to the subrecipient account. It really depends on the data entry status. The PMT tracks who has access to each user profile and account to ensure data validity and maintain system security. If you are entering data on behalf of the subrecipient under your Prime Grantee user account, select the subrecipient and click Enter Edit Data. If you want your subrecipients to access the PMT and enter their own data, you will need to create the subrecipient users. To do so, go to the Manage Subrecipients page on the navigation toolbar, click on Manage Users to add new users to the subrecipient account, and the Users column will let you know all the users that are associated with the account. From the Manage Subrecipients page, you can also edit the subrecipient organization information and add subawards. If you want your subrecipients to access the PMT and enter their own data, you will need to create the subrecipient users. After selecting Add New Users, you will see this new user form, where you will enter the user's first and last name and their email address. Doing so will automatically send this person an email with a link to the PMT and instructions to complete registration for access to the PMT in their profile. Here's where you will review and accept your subrecipient's data reports. It's an example of a typical reporting homepage that includes access to grantee activity as well as several subrecipients. This is where you will check on the status of your subrecipient's data. The subrecipient's data entry status will change once they have completed their reporting. The statuses you will see are Not Started, meaning the subrecipient has not entered any data, In Progress, or the subrecipient has begun entering data but has not completed data entry. Complete means that all data has been reported, or Check Project Period End Date, which means the subrecipient is not required to report during this reporting period. If a subrecipient has a complete data entry status, you can view the reported data by clicking on Review Data. Once you have reviewed the subrecipient's data, and there are revisions that need to be made, you can do one of two things. You can send the data back to the subrecipient so they can make the revisions, or you can edit the data yourself as the grantor. As the prime grantee, you are responsible for the quality of your subrecipient's data. If it is a small edit and you know the answer, it may be easier for you to edit the report yourself. If there are several revisions needed, it may be more efficient to send it back to the subrecipient for them to make changes. If you do not see the Send for Revisions button, it is because the subrecipient's data entry status is either not started or in progress. If you want the subrecipient to change their own data, click Send for Revisions to unlock the report, giving data entry access back to the subrecipient. Enter an explanation of what changes are needed and click Send. Be sure that you are clear in your explanation about what changes need to be made and provide a deadline for getting the report back to you. The subrecipient will receive an email that says, "Your questionnaire has been unlocked in the BJ PMT. Please log in to revise and resubmit your data." They will also see the message that you wrote. On the grantee status summary page, the subrecipient's data entry status now reads In Progress. The status will remain in progress until the subrecipient makes the necessary revisions and marks the data as complete again, resubmitting it back to you for review. The last tab of the questionnaire, you will see a Review tab. If you don't see this section, scroll down to the bottom of the page. It will be after all the performance measure questions. This box will not appear on the review page until all of the data has been entered. If you don't see the Mark Data Entry as Complete option, this means there are unanswered questions and you'll need to go back and answer them. Once you have entered all data, select Mark Data Entry as Complete and click Save. Once your report or reports are completed, you can export and create a PDF of the report. On the Federal Awards page, select Create Just Grants Report for the reporting period that states Reminder, upload this Just Grants report into Just Grants. This reminder shows up every 6 months during the April to June and October to December reporting periods only. This will create a semi-annual report that automatically populates the previous quarter's data. Before creating a report, all past and current reports should be complete. In this example, you see the different statuses you may see to help identify what may be missing. On the View Report page, you'll see at the top it indicates 2 reporting periods of data that are represented. Select Export to PDF and save the file to your computer. You should only need to attach one PMT PDF report into Just Grants. In the Just Grants system, go to the Performance Report page of your grant award. Type any relevant comments in the comments field, and in the attachment section, select Upload to upload the semi-annual PMT PDF report that you just saved. You should only need to attach one PMT PDF report into Just Grants. Check to make sure the report dates in the PMT PDF report match the reporting period dates in the performance reports that you are submitting in Just Grants. Select Submit. Selecting Save will not submit your report. Once submitted, the report will be routed to the grant manager for review. I'll now pass it back to Angie, who will go over resources, help desk contact information, and closing remarks.
You can find links to additional resources to assist you in your reporting process on this slide, including the PSN Performance Measure Questionnaire, best practices in managing subgrantee reporting in the PMT, and step-by-step instructions to attach and submit your PMT report in Just Grants. To access Just Grants, grantees must log into Just Grants or contact their information provided along with a phone number. Here is our BJA PMT Help Desk contact information and another list of available resources that can provide you additional information as needed. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for holidays. We strive to return every email within 24 hours, so please don't hesitate to reach out, even after business hours. Subgrantees should direct their questions about their awards to you, the prime recipient, before reaching out to the PMT Help Desk. The PMT Help Desk has limited availability to help subgrantees outside of creating or unlocking accounts. If you have specific questions about your subawards, please contact your state policy advisor, grant manager. I want to point out some additional resources we have available to assist you as you report your grant activity. The BJA Performance Measure webpage contains foundational information about performance reporting at BJA, including links to the PMT and the Just Grants reporting system. Additionally, you can find the BJA YouTube and multimedia page. You can also find your program's performance measures and any training videos. On behalf of the BJA Planning, Performance, and Impact team, thank you for your time, dedication, and hard work on performance reporting. This concludes the presentation. Thank you.